All right, so if you're buying a home in Grand Rapids, you know that every single dollar counts. It really does. So let's demystify one of those key costs you're going to face, the real estate appraisal. We're going to break down exactly what you should expect to pay.
You're probably knee-deep in spreadsheets, trying to track every single expense, right? And that appraisal fee, it can feel like a big old question mark. But you know what? Getting it right is absolutely crucial to avoid any nasty surprises on closing day. So let's go ahead and erase that question mark for you.
Okay, let's just cut right to the chase. No messing around. For a standard, single-family home in the Grand Rapids area, this is the number you need to know: $625. Think of this as your baseline, the figure you can plug straight into that budget spreadsheet.
So where in the world does this number even come from? Well, it's not just pulled out of thin air. It's actually an industry standard set by the Department of Veterans Affairs. And because the VA sets such a reliable and consistent benchmark, it's been adopted for pretty much most conventional mortgages in the region. So yeah, you can really count on it being a solid figure for your planning. But of course, not everyone's buying that classic single-family home. The kind of property you're eyeing will directly impact the appraisal cost. So let's take a look at how those numbers can shift.
So here is the breakdown. It's pretty straightforward. A single-family home and a condominium, they both come in at that standard $625. A manufactured home, that's a little more, at $675. And if you're looking at a multifamily property, 2 to 4 units, that budget number is going to jump up to $800. Now, here's a little exception, but it's an important one to keep in your back pocket. If that multifamily property happens to be in Clare or Gladwin County, the fee gets a little bump up to $875. It's a very specific detail, but it's one that could definitely matter depending on where you're looking.
Okay, so we've got our standard fees, but are they totally set in stone? Not always. Let's dig into a few key things that can make that final price tag wiggle a little bit.
It's really important to get that these standard rates cover, the vast majority of transactions. But some properties, they're just more complex. If a home has some really unique features or is just different, it's going to need a more in-depth valuation, and all that extra work from the appraiser, well, that can lead to a higher fee.
So, what kind of stuff are we talking about here? First, unique property characteristics. Think about a beautiful old historic home with all its quirks and details. Second, geographic challenges. A remote, rural property might cost more just because of the appraiser's travel time. And finally, your financing. Certain specialized loans, like FHA or jumbo loans, can sometimes have their own pricing structures.
Okay, we have totally nailed down the how much. But what about the how long? And maybe even more important, the why. Because understanding the timeline and the real purpose of an appraisal, that's just as important as knowing the cost.
For all your planning purposes, this is the time frame to remember. From the second that appraisal is ordered, you can pretty much expect the report to be done within 8 business days. It's a pretty standard turnaround, and it really helps keep the whole home buying train moving down the tracks.
So what exactly is the appraiser doing for those 8 days? Well, their entire job is to figure out the property's fair market value. And this isn't some wild guess. It's an objective, professional, completely unbiased evaluation of what that home is actually worth today on the open market.
And here we go. This is the real reason this all matters. An appraisal isn't just another hoop you have to jump through for the bank. It is there to protect you. It's an independent confirmation that the price you agreed to pay is justified by the property's real value. It makes sure the loan itself makes financial sense.
And that's really what this is all about. The appraisal is your financial safeguard. It's this independent check that gives you peace of mind, that confirms you're not overpaying, and that your new home is a genuinely sound investment for your future.
So let's pull all this together. We've gone over the costs, the timeline, the whole purpose behind it. Here are the most important takeaways to keep in mind as you move forward on your home buying journey. Okay, first things first, budget around $625 for that standard home. Second, plan on that 8 business day timeline. And remember, the costs can change based on the property's specific details. But most importantly, try to see the appraisal as protection for your investment, not just another fee. And a final pro tip, always confirm the exact cost with your lender. That way, there are absolutely no surprises.
And that's really the question this whole process is designed to answer, isn't it? That appraisal fee is a pretty small price to pay for the confidence and the security of knowing you're making a smart financial move. It really shifts the whole focus from just buying a house to making a truly sound investment.